Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's YunKs. Today, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the memory of Felwinter on a Gunslinger Hunter. Now, if you guys didn't know already, memory of Felwinter will grant you an extra grenade and melee charge at the price of your super. You will no longer have a super if you are running this artifact, and I always recommend 100% discipline and 100% strength if you are running memory of Felwinter on any subclass that is. Anyway, let's take a look at the subclass and see what can work and see what is no longer necessary. So, we have Gambler's Dagger, gain an additional throwing knife. We don't need that because memory of Felwinter gives us the additional throwing knife. Over the Horizon is for Golden Gun. We don't have a Golden Gun anymore, so Chain of Woe is your only option here. So I guess, the extra reload speed from precision kills will not hurt. Moving on to this column here, we have Scavenger, Keyhole, which we will not need. That's for Golden Gun and Gunslinger's Trance, which can work. So your options here are Gunslinger's Trance and Scavenger. I do recommend Scavenger because it just makes this build even more effective and more efficient. With Memory of Felwinter, you just get your stuff even quicker than it already is, so that's nice. Moving on to our throwing knife. So Circle of Life is not necessary. You don't have a Golden Gun. So your options here are Incendiary Blade or Knife Juggler. If you feel like you could land a lot of precision kills with your throwing knife, well then go with Knife Juggler. If not, then you probably should just go with Incendiary Blade. Either of these can work. Moving on to our grenade now. We have the Incendiary Grenade, Swarm Grenade, or Trip Mine. This is personal preference, really up to you on this one. Trip Mines are obviously very potent grenades. Incendiaries can work very well as well. And Swarm Grenades, not too sure about that. Alright, so that's it for the subclass. Let's take a look at the exotic armor. So let's see what could work here as well. So Knucklehead Radar can work. You do get that radar when you aim down sights with your primary, so that's an option, I guess. Acleophage Symbio is for Golden Gun, don't need that. Mask of the Third Man is for Arc Blade, don't need that. ATS Arachnid is also for Golden Gun. No. Celestial Nighthawk is Golden Gun. Skyburner's Annex, we could do better than that. Graviton Forfeit is for the Night Stalker. Crest of Afalupi, we could do better. Lucky Raspberry can work because you will spawn with 2 full grenades every time. Every time you spawn, obviously, so that can definitely work. ATS Tarantellas for Arc Blade or, Blade Dancer subclass. Young Ahamkara's Spine we will no longer need, but you do get the extra Trip Mine duration. But I feel like if you're going to run this, you might as well just not run Memory of Felwinter, because you could still get 2 throwing knives and you could still get 2 grenades by doing this, 2 Trip Mines. So if you're going to run this, don't even bother running Memory of Felwinter. Just don't. It really just would not make any sense. Moving on to Don't Touch Me's. These can work when you take melee damage. You briefly go invisible. I guess that's an option. Keperi's Sting, if you want to go invisible on a Gunslinger, I guess that is also an option. Sealed Ahamkara's Grasp, you gain an additional melee charge. We don't need that anymore. Shinobu's Vows is for the Blade Dancer. Radiant Dance Machines can also work. Bones of Ao could also work. And Frost EE5s or Frosties is probably going to be the most efficient choice here. While sprinting, you gain tighter turn radius and faster grenade and melee regeneration. So definitely this is what I would recommend. But let's take a look again at all of our options. So Knucklehead Radar is of course an option. Lucky Raspberry can work. When you spawn, you will spawn with 2 grenade charges. Don't Touch Me's is an option. Keperi's Sting is an option. And all the boots here are an option. But of course, like I said, once again, Frosties is what I would recommend. It's just the most efficient for this build with Memory of Felwinter. So let's get to the real question. Can Memory of Felwinter work on a Gunslinger Hunter? Well, let's talk PvE first. Obviously, Night Stalker is a very popular choice for hunters right now in PvE. So if a hunter does happen to run Gunslinger in PvE, more than likely they're using Gunslinger for that high burst damage from their Golden Gun, maybe using Celestial Nighthawk, maybe not, but more than likely that is the reason. Not just for the grenade and melee. I mean, they are great. There is no doubt about that grenades and melees are great on a Gunslinger, but yeah, more than likely it's definitely for the super. So running Memory of Felwinter in PvE is probably not going to be the best choice. I mean, when it comes to higher level PvE activities like raids, nightfalls, you are not going to be running Memory of Felwinter with a Gunslinger, and if you are, then you really must be trolling, and your team is going to look at you like you're fucking insane. So just don't run Memory of Felwinter on a Gunslinger Hunter in PvE. It's just very silly. You could easily live without 2 grenades and 2 melees. You want to keep your super. It is vital to the Gunslinger subclass. Oh, and of course you could always get your extra melee from Gambler's Dagger, and you could always get an extra trip mine if you really wanted to from YunKs Spine. So you could still have a super and 2 melees and 2 grenades if you really wanted. So once again, I would just not recommend it. I mean, if you really want to run Memory of Felwinter in PvE on your Gunslinger, I mean, that's really up to you. But I really just don't think it is worth losing your super over, and you could still always get your 2 melees and 2 grenades while having that super. So yeah, we're gonna move on to PvP. Can it work in PvP? Yeah, it can. I still wouldn't recommend it though. Having Golden Gun is a beautiful thing in PvP. It's almost like an automatic 3 kills. If you know how to use it right, if you time it right, as long as another enemy super doesn't cock block you, blah blah blah. You guys know the deal. Golden Gun is a great super for PvP, but I do guess you can live without it. So let's talk real quick about the pros, the benefits of running Memory of Felwinter on a Gunslinger Hunter, along with the Frosties and 100% discipline, 100% strength. Well, you're pretty much going to always find yourself with a grenade or melee for almost every engagement. As long as you keep sprinting, you keep moving with those Frosties, your cooldowns are going to be stupid fast, and it is a beautiful thing having constant equipment on a Gunslinger in the Crucible. You are definitely going to be a nuisance to the enemy team, although you're not going to have a super throughout the whole match. As long as you could be consistent with placing your grenades and melees correctly, it'll definitely benefit you, and it can certainly make a difference for the entirety of the match. So if you don't give a shit about Golden Gun and you just want to throw trip mines, incendiaries, blah blah blah, throwing knives all day long, well then this build can work for you in the Crucible. But once again, just like I said in PvE, you still can get that additional trip mine if you run YunKs Spine, and you could get an additional melee by easily picking Gambler's Dagger in your subclass, all while holding onto your super. So clearly you do not need this artifact in order to get an extra melee and grenade charge. It is still possible without it. So the only real reason I could see somebody running this is if they don't like trip mines and they want 2 incendiary grenades, then this would be the only way. Or if they just want stupid fast cooldowns with the Frosties with the 2 charges, then yeah, I could see that. Me personally, I'm just going to stick with my YunKs Spine for the extra trip mine in the Crucible on my Gunslinger. I love that exotic armor. I'm going to stick with my Gambler's Dagger, and I am going to hold on to my super. I'm not going to sacrifice that for the Memory of Felwinter, just my personal opinion. Anyway, guys, go ahead, leave in the comments and let me know what you think about Memory of Felwinter on a Gunslinger Hunter. Have you tried it? Let me know. We only have 3 more subclasses to go over with Memory of Felwinter. That is the Voidwalker, the Blade Dancer, and the Sunbreaker. So 1 subclass for each character left. So also go ahead, leave in the comments. Let me know which subclass you would like to see next. Preferably the Voidwalker or the Sunbreaker. I don't want to do 2 hunters back to back. Okay, so one more time, can Memory of Felwinter work on a Gunslinger in PvE? Well, yeah, probably. No, fuck that. It cannot work, and it should never be used in PvE. Can it work in PvP? Well, yeah, it can work. It's really up to you. I personally wouldn't recommend it, though, considering you could still get an extra grenade and melee charge due to Gambler's Dagger and YunKs Spine, unless of course you just don't give a shit about the super, you don't care about Golden Gun, and you just want to simply spam your throwing knife and your grenade all day. Once again, yeah, I could see that. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the video, and go ahead and leave a sub if you haven't already if you want to see more Destiny content, because I will be bringing it to you guys on the daily. Anyway, I will see you next time.